before we go ahead on speech, I would like to tell you guys what I'm going to mention in this presentation. In the first part, I will give you guys a short introduction, and in the second part, I will tell you why do I recommend this movie, and in the third part, I'm going to offer you guys an intriguing insight into that movie. What I'm going to talk about in the fourth part is the classic quote. In the final, I will try to wrap up this presentation with my conclusion. So let's go ahead on speech. This movie is actually talking about a wealthy entrepreneur. His name is Will Trainer, and before the car accident, he's a person who really enjoyed his life and always challenged himself with a lot of outdoor activity. However, after the car accident, he became disabled, which means he's confined to the wheelchair and cannot go any place he wants to go. This kind of experience actually makes Will Trainer feel very frustrated about his life. He even has the thought that he wants to end up his life with euthanasia. After a few months, he met a girl. Her name is Lucia Clark. They fall in love with each other, and however, even though Will Trainer met someone who really deeply loved him, he still cannot give up his thought of killing himself with euthanasia. As we know, the ending is very sad and tragic. That is, Will Trainer chose to go to Switzerland and end up his life with euthanasia and left Lucia Clark alone. This is what the movie is talking about. So in the next part, I'm going to tell you why do I recommend this movie. The reason is very simple. You must hear how sexy it is when Will Trainer called Lucia Clark's name. Okay, I'm just joking. There are a few reasons, and I'll list some of them. The first one is it is totally different from the cliche movie. As a helpless romantic, I can make a conclusion of what the cliche of romantic movie look like. That is, the protagonist must get sick, and he met the girls for just a few months. Then they fall in love with each other. I don't know how the girl do that, but she must have the power so that she can make our protagonist transform into the new person. And they even fall in love with each other in the future. So this is the cliche of romantic movies should look like. However, maybe for you it's totally different from that kind of cliche. Who can imagine that Will Trainer actually choose to end up his life with euthanasia and instead of staying with her lover forever? So this kind of unique plot is actually a point that impressed me, and also the reason why do I recommend this movie. Yeah, in the second part is that I really love the way that the director tried to guide us to realize how Will Trainer felt when he knew he became disabled. In the beginning of the movie, Will Trainer is actually a person who really loved his life and even challenged himself with so many outdoor activities, right? However, after the car accident, he became disabled, which means the only thing he can do in the morning is to open up his eyes and waiting for someone to take care of him. From those kind of different situations, we can realize how Will Trainer felt when he met the car accidents. So I really love the way that the director tried to guide us to realize how Will felt when he met the car accident. So this all in all, maybe for you is a movie of what is worthy of you guys watching. Not only because of its unique plot, but also because of the ways that the director tried to express the emotion of Will Trainer. In the next part, I'm going to tell you guys some intriguing ways to view this romantic movie. So I read some interesting article from Rotten Tomatoes, which is a review for so many films and series. And here is its title. Me Before You is totally terrifying horror movie. I think that the writer tried to view this movie in a different way. That is, he tried to let us know how the alcoholism affects Will Trainer and people around them. So we're going to talk about what is alcoholism and how can we find that alcoholism affects Will Trainer from a specific dialogue. The first one, alcoholism, is actually a kind of discrimination against the disabled. So the algorithm usually defines people by the disability. and also feel like people with the disabled should be fixed so that they can look like the normal guys. So from the left-hand side, we can see there are several dialogues. In the first, is where Trainer felt very disappointed. So he said something to Clark. That is, I didn't do anything, I just exist. So from this kind of dialogue, we can see actually Will Trainer devalue his life because he thinks he's a disabled. However, things doesn't go like that, right? Even though you are the disabled, you still have the chance to lead a happy life and experience those tiny happy moments in your life. So in this dialogue, we can see actually Will Trainer is affected by algorithm. And the second part is that Louisa Clark's ex-boyfriend always suggests Will Trainer should join a program so that he can be able-bodied again. I feel like Louisa's ex-boyfriend is totally a ableism in this movie because actually the disabled is just a little bit different from us, but it doesn't mean they need to be fixed or change it, right? So this is the very interesting perspective to view this movie, and I hope that you guys, if you one day watch this movie, you can not only view this movie from a romantic perspective, but can also try to view this movie from the other aspect. So in the next part, I'm going to tell you guys some classic quotes. Well, we can see the first one. Live boldly, push yourself, and don't settle. This is actually a sentence come from the letter that Will left for Louisa Clark. He tried to tell Louisa that she should make use of the money he left for her, step out of the comfort zone, and widen her horizon. And I want to give this sentence to you guys so that you can keep that in mind when you are pursuing your dream or lead your challenges. And in the second part is that when Louisa realized no matter how hard she tried, she still cannot change Will's mind, so she felt very disappointed. She even asked her dad for help. So what her dad says is that we cannot really change what people are, but we can love or respect them. I spent some time to figure it out, what her dad means. I think that he means that we cannot really change the decision that people make, but we can respect that. So this is the classic quote, and I hope that you guys are enlightened by this classic quote. So all in all, I would like to make some conclusion to wrap up my presentation. In the beginning, I tell you guys some introduction and also some reason why I recommend this movie. In this middle of the presentation, I try to view this movie with some intriguing perspective that I know from the Rotten Tomato. And in the final presentation, I try to give you guys some classic quotes. If you guys are still very interested in that movie, why not give it a try to watch this movie in this weekend? I hope that you will love my presentation and leave it for you. Thanks for your listening. It seems that we still have some time, so maybe we can go into the Q&A session. So is there anyone has a question? This one? What's your favorite character? I really love Louisa Clark because I think I'm a little bit similar to her. We don't really hide in our emotion. We will laugh when we are happy, and we will have the bad face expression when we met something bad. So I think Louisa Clark is my favorite character. My favorite plot is that when Will Trainer, he go with Louisa Clark, and they go to listen to some concert. And after that concert, Will make a request that he hoped that Louisa Will can stay with him in the car. Because actually it is a kind of luxury for Will to stay with his lover, especially after the car accident, he becomes disabled. This is my favorite plot. So is there any question?
did you agree that the male protagonist committed euthanasia in the end? And what's your opinion about this event?
This is a very interesting question, and I think about this for a long time. You know, actually there's some reviews on YouTube that are talking about Will's death. Some of them very disagree with that because they feel like Will is very timid. He cannot face the overcome obstacle in his life. But my opinion is that, well, we have to put ourselves in his shoes, right? We have to admit that Will actually is an adventurous person, and his life is so wonderful. I think for that kind of people, he cannot really accept old things, especially after he becomes disabled, because he's very proud of his life before. So if we put ourselves in his shoes, I think that his decision is not really so bad.
Thank you.
So is there any question or comments for my teacher?
I just started to watch this movie last week, and I haven't finished it, but I think you just told us that the will die.
Oh, I'm sorry, I spoiled the mood.
So why did he want to suicide?
Oh, it's because the reason is because you really want me to talk to you
It's
the
okay,
ending.
I think it's okay, right?
Okay. Well, actually, in the plot that they are walking around the beach, Will step up to Louisa about the reason. She don't, even though we know Louisa may stay with Will forever, right? But Will don't want this kind of thing because he don't want to see any tiny regret or pity from Louisa's face after a long years. And for him, this kind of life is absolutely not what he wants. So he wants to end up all the things. Because he said in the morning what he expects is to ending up all the things. This is the reason why Will still try to suicide himself, even though he met someone he loved.
Thank you.
But, you know, because there's some sequel of Me Before You. There's a book called Me After You, and I'm reading it now. Maybe if you're interested, you can read that book. And my friend told me he still prefer Me Before You.
So if you could, would you try to rewrite the ending of the story?
Oh, I have read some alternative ending in the online, but I think that the original one is still better. Because if the ending is Will don't die and stay with Louisa Clark forever, then it comes to the cliche of a romantic movie.
That makes sense. Good. Any others? Right, so then thank you for sharing.
Thank you.